we're going to be trying out something fun for this one. We've got Frieren here with Lorina, Christy, and Sinful Singelica. The idea being that with Christy's buff and Commander Lorina's buff, she transfers the full FRES amount. Her base 50 FRES is going to be pretty easy to hit 220. At least I think it's 220. The boss has 120 FRES, so I've kind of just been assuming it's 220 FRES to resist everything. It might be 200. Anyways, Singelica has 220 FRES just from the Soulweaver class. And then Frieren, while she does have immunity, if you get your strip 15%ed, the boss will strip the immunity and transfer the Death Break, which actually doesn't really matter because Frieren can't take damage anyways, so we'll be good. And then, besides that, Commander Lorina's got damage limit. Sinful Singelica will be immortal so long as we proc Candlestick, so we can't take any damage, we can't get debuffed. It'll be great, just need to proc Candlestick, it'll be fine. For the stats, first up, Christy. Christy, I've got her on Genesis Ross Artifact. This is just here acting as a book, pretty much. We're gonna hope that she dies fast, so she's not really wasting turns and stuff. We have 3 res sets, just to get enough FRES to give our Commander Lorina enough FRES, and then besides that, her stats don't really matter. Next up is Frieren. I have her on her personal artifact. You could probably run Tagahells. I don't think you need this many souls. You could also give a damage artifact and be fine, I'm sure. Because I'm pretty sure Sinful Singelica S3 plus Frieren S1 gives you enough souls to hit 4. And then the plus you have Christy, who will take a turn eventually, but besides that, it's just damage stats. I have her on Destro Torrent. And she has enough effectiveness just from being a mage to land her strip on S3, which we're actually not going to do immediately, but we'll talk about that later. And then Commander Lorina, Christy is giving 142 FRES, so we have 231, which is more than enough. Besides that, I gave her this because she has not lifesteal, it heals her based on her attack on her S1 from her skill tree now, and also damage limit, so her sustain should be fine. 30% dual attack chance is pretty cool to have. Hopefully we get a bunch of dual attacks. Also Destruction Pen. Singelica, her stats don't really matter either. I just gave her Prophetic Candlestick. We need this to proc, hopefully it procs. And then we have Counter, just for more Death Break chances, and then Pen Set for fun, because I don't use this Singelica. And I also gave her a bit of speed. So let's just go and head right into it and see how it goes, because I have not tried this team out yet. So we do not need to S3, which actually kind of sucks that Frieren went first, but we can just S1 here. That did a lot of damage. And then here, I'm going to... I wonder if I can afford to hold my S3. I think she's gonna cut Singelica anyways, so we're just gonna S3. Last time I held my Commander Lorina S3, I think it went like 5 turns before a Death Break lined up. So here, I'm not going to bother using S3 where it's an S1. There's our first dual attack. Here we can Soulburn this, probably land Death Break. There's our counter, we didn't land the Death Break there, kinda sucks. I am going to hold my S3 this time, because our... Let's see, he seals on this turn. We have our S3 back up. And then... I'm not gonna get to S1 anytime soon, unfortunately, because I have to S3 this turn. And I could probably start soul burning Frieren and Commander Lorina at some point. Being my first time running this team, I wasn't not too familiar with the exact timings for how many times I can use my soul burns, because we need to make sure we keep this defensive magic up. With this, nice dual attack. Wow, we got 15%ed, that kinda sucks. Oh, this is the rough turn, because I guess in the Vitality, we don't really have a chance to get our Candlestick procs. That kinda sucks, but we also did get 15%ed. Well, Singelica's probably dying off here, but we should be able to get a decent amount of damage still. Can I afford to soul burn this? I should be fine, because we'll have 4 here, and then Frieren takes her turn, gets another 4. This guy removes... I can't see, but we should have enough souls. So here we're actually going to try and strip this because he dispels all buffs. Does it matter, actually? I'm trying to... Okay, let's think for a second. He's going to lose the Death Break next turn anyways. Our Death Breaker is dead. So no, it actually kind of does not really matter whether or not we decide to S3 here. Well, this does give her attack buff. Might as well. Yeah, it was gonna get transferred anyways, because we wouldn't have immunity. But not like it mattered, because he was losing it that turn anyways. Don't think we're gonna be able to get that last turn in. Just barely not. But 3.8 million damage is pretty insane for... That's really insane for a 3-spawn 3 cleared. Upon review, I'm gonna try giving Singelica speed set instead. I think there were a couple of turns where maybe if the timing lines up, we'll have better Death Break timings. Assuming Candlestick procs. So I gave her speed set. Did make her like gear have as little speed as possible, because we don't want her to be too fast and cut the Prongo. We'll see how this works. So this time Singelica goes first, but she'll give speed buff to Commander Lorina and Frieren. Part of the issue was that Commander Lorina with speed buff plus her CR push was just outpacing Singelica completely, which kind of sucked. We do need to hope that Singelica doesn't cut ahead of, or that Singelica just doesn't cut ahead of Frieren at a certain point, because there was one point where Prongo was going to take its turn, which might not be happening, because here she still goes behind Commander Lorina, which kind of sucks. I should have just used my S3 last turn. I'll soul burn this. I'm trying to think, can we afford to soul burn this turn? We should be fine. We have no attack buff, but it is what it is. And our Candlestick didn't proc, so I guess this will instead be a test of how much damage did we do with no Candlestick procs. So in this situation where your Candlestick doesn't proc, we are just going to S2 here. We're just going to soul burn S1, I mean, because we got resisted anyways. Well, pretty much same thing happened last run. One thing here is we're not going to slam it into Prongo completely because we get 8 hits. It's 8 hits in 7 turns, so let's not waste any. Let's not waste any. We're just going to do this. Does this? This strips, so let's not S3. We'll hold our S3. I said 7 turns, right? Frieren took the first turn, so we can do this again. That's 4. It's 5. That's 6, 7. Now we're caught up. We get one more turn. It looks scary, but there's 0 RNG involved there. And then here, let's attack buff and strip this, hopefully. And it's the final turn, so we might as well soul burn this. And my guess was pretty much correct. They came in here with 3.8 million damage dealt almost, and we ended up doing about 3 million, even with Singelica dying from no candlestick procs. So even with bad RNG, honestly, this team is still pretty decent, I would say. So just for anybody who's curious, I do think speed set is a lot better. I'm taking a look here. So this gap here, I do realize that there is a lot of RNG involved, because I can't be bothered to really count how many dual attacks, but I'm pretty sure this run had 1 less dual attack than the previous run I did. But even with that dual attack, on the next turn, Singelica should still go before Commander Lorina. She'd get speed buffed by proc Candlestick here, but that would be nicer just because then you would have Singelica go before Commander Lorina does when the Vitality phase starts, and I didn't optimize the Vitality phase either on my first run. I just slammed Frieren into Prongo. I completely forgot that it counts like per hit, plus I dual attacked, so that was not great. And having Singelica go first would theoretically give you more damage, though I got 15%ed in my first run. And getting 15%ed here is also really, really bad, because the whole point of soul burning on this turn is that even if you don't proc Candlestick, you'll carry Deathbreak into Vitality, because this is the seal turn. But we got 15%ed, so we lost a ton of damage off of that. All 7 turns of damage just didn't have Deathbreak, which kind of sucked, which I guess was the case in the first run too. So I guess you could say there's even RNG across both runs, ignoring the Candlestick thing, Deathbreak RNG-wise. But pretty surprised with how well this team performed. This was supposed to be a funny little meme team, but I think this is like genuinely a good team. Even with bad RNG, it still scores really well, and then with good RNG, it scores like just on par with the top end teams for Prongo pretty much.